At the very first touch of dawn, the deep forest still wears a veil of mist. Thin, hesitant light gets caught in the dense canopy, unable to spill down onto the ground that still holds the night's chill, when, within the dark green tapestry of the eastern woods, a commanding silhouette quietly separates itself from the shadows. Before you stands a living masterpiece, Reeves's pheasant, a creature with an unmistakably regal presence, as if sculpted from early morning sunlight and spun with the world's finest golden thread. As the morning brightens, its royal beauty reveals itself in full. The plumage is an intricate structure that catches and returns light in signature tones of gold and silver. Along the neck and back, layered, scale-like patterns are not only striking, they also help rainwater slide off quickly, keeping the body dry. A smooth white head is marked by a sharp black line, ink dark and clean, a crucial visual signal for recognition and communication beneath the forest's patchwork of shadow and light. And then there is the tail, long, dramatic, banded in bold contrasts of black and white. It is more than ornament for courtship displays. It is evidence of the male's health and survival competence. The longer the tail, the clearer the patterning, the stronger the message. Superior foraging ability, sharper predator avoidance, and greater fitness to carry on the bloodline. But to preserve that splendor, Reeves's pheasant must live as a master of concealment. It chooses the forest floor as its main stage, using leaf litter, fallen twigs, and broken beams of sunlight as cover. Strong legs, 3 toes forward, 1 back, allow it to scratch for food and keep balance over uneven ground. Its diet is remarkably varied. Hard seeds, wild berries, tender shoots, insects, and at times even snails or tiny fish from shallow runnels. For tougher foods, it swallows small stones to grind them in the gizzard, an adaptation typical of ground-dwelling galliform birds. Keen hearing functions like an early warning system. At the slightest unusual rustle, a leaf shifting the wrong way, the body tightens and drops low, melting into the forest's texture. The darker brown tones along the back and flanks form near-perfect camouflage, while the gold and white only flash when it needs to assert dominance or perform a courtship display. In the cooler hours, it moves along low, hidden ecological trails, close to the ground, slow steps, gentle scratching, constant listening. Then, in a sudden, precise motion, it picks up its prize. If you stay quietly with this bird long enough, you may witness moments so rare that most nature lovers only ever see them through the lenses of seasoned wildlife filmmakers. On clear mornings, when the first sunlight spills onto the streamside rocks, the male may pause for a long time to sunbathe. He lowers his body, turns slightly, and loosens his wings so the light can slip into every layer of feathers, warming him and helping to kill parasites. Now and then, he preens each feather with his beak, stroking along the grain to keep it glossy and tightly aligned. Careful maintenance of a priceless royal coat. Elsewhere in the forest, the female quietly disappears into thick undergrowth. There, with astonishing skill, she uses her beak and feet to pull dry leaves over the nest, sealing it so completely that unless you already know the exact spot, it is nearly impossible to notice, even from just a few steps away. And when spring rises with new life, those hush-filled corners give way to the species' own private festival. As the breeding season approaches, males begin to claim small clearings, places where sunlight can reach the ground, as if they were natural stages. The performance begins in slow, deliberate movements. He circles, head slightly lowered, eyes fixed on the female watching from a distance. Then, without warning, the long tail, nearly 2 meters, bursts open into a fan. Black and white bands catch the sun and throw it back in a powerful visual flare. Muscles at the base of the tail control each curve and sweep, creating a rhythm that rolls like water. Meanwhile, the wings quiver softly, producing a dry, low sound, feathers brushing against feathers. At times, he tilts his body so a beam of light runs along the golden plumage, igniting the patterns on the neck and back, an unmistakable message to the female. This is a strong male, built to survive every trial the wild can impose. But the dance is both invitation and ruthless test. The female watches every motion, looking for the slightest sign of fatigue or a misstep. One brief mistake can be enough for her to turn away. For the male, this is the moment to spend everything. Every tail flare, every measured step is a gamble, branding his image into her memory, while also declaring status to rivals lurking at the edge of the sunlit space. And if he is accepted, the spectacle closes with a slow nod from the female, a quiet signal that opens the door to a new generation, forged from beauty and strength, born from a dance that happens only once a year, yet decides the future of the entire species. In the forest's quiet peace, danger often arrives without a sound, faster than any creature can fully react. High above, the shadow of a hawk or eagle can suddenly sweep past, leaving a thin streak of darkness that is still enough to put every animal under the canopy on alert. The predator's sharp eyes can catch the smallest movement from dozens of meters away, and the moment a pheasant steps out from cover, it can become an instant target. Down on the forest floor, other threats move even more silently. A snake glides through dry leaves, perfectly camouflaged, pausing to listen before closing in. But nature is not the only danger. When humans cut new paths through the woods, vegetation is torn open, creating gaps that can be spotted from far away. The roar of machinery, the faint smell of fuel carried on the wind, these unfamiliar sounds and scents disrupt a rhythm refined over thousands of years. Even small changes in habitat can unsettle how animals feed, breed, and raise young, pushing them into less secure areas where risk is always waiting. In a world where food is never unlimited, cooperation and competition intertwine like the forest's two breaths. When a fruit tree drops its harvest, it becomes a gathering point at once. Each species plays its own strategy. Agile squirrels climb quickly to choose the best fruit. Woodpeckers use their beaks to break through tough skins, while pheasants work patiently below, searching for seeds and leftovers scattered in the litter. Yet shared space is not always peaceful, and one pheasant that uncovers a good bite may have it snatched away in an instant by a bold sparrow or a daring gray squirrel. These small-scale clashes can be harsh, but they help keep the ecological balance intact. No single species can hold resources for too long, forcing everyone to stay alert, adaptable, and resilient in order to survive. And it is precisely this rhythm, part alliance, part rivalry, that nourishes biodiversity. In the vast picture of life, every individual, whether humble or magnificent, plays a role in sustaining the forest's vitality. As darkness begins to swallow the last light of day, the forest closes its busy chapter, leaving only the soft wind moving through the leaves. In that final patch of fading brightness, Reeves's pheasant stands in silence. Its long tail catches the evening glow, forming a halo like a crown, an image of a king without a throne. It is not only the end of an observation, but a reminder of nature's fragile, proud beauty, something that, once lost, cannot be easily recovered. To hold on to that image is to hold on to a piece of the forest's soul, a piece of the earth's memory, and to keep it alive, each of us can begin with the smallest actions: respect nature, protect the life around us, and help that respect spread. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video, so together we can keep the forest's call alive for as long as possible. Thank you for staying with us until the very last moment. Goodbye, and see you again soon.